Good evening, actually good afternoon. Welcome on in to another episode of From Day One. Let's head to the courtroom and have some fun.
That I can have a very brief conversation with my client?
Hopefully not.
I don't really know. See all these people on here?
It's okay, no big deal.
Okay.
One quick question, Judge, because I am not familiar with the ORCA program. Is that through pretrial services?
ORCA is the killer whale. There's a $400,000 fine on trafficking in methamphetamines.
Y tiene una fianza de 400,000 por tráfico de metanfetaminas.
This was August the 8th.
Esto sucedió el 8 de agosto.
All right, Ms. Chavez, want to hear that soccer announcement voice? Ready?
Okay, she's about to get her to say pre-trial in Spanish, but this was sent to me by Iris in Texas. Thank you, Iris.
Okay.
And it's okay. It's okay. We applaud the effort. But Iris tells me that she actually doesn't say pre-trial. She says something close but different.
Go for it.
Raw.
Antecedentes penales.
Nice.
Yeah, that's not pre-trial.
Fantastic. Go ahead, Bostic. Work as long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment schedule, and the exact location you'll be working. You have to give it to the income earning company and to your lawyer, who again turn it over to the state. Best of luck to you, sir. You can leave the booth.
Get out of here.
3 North. What is wrong with you, 3 North?
Huh?
I don't know. I don't know. All right. Thank you, Mr. Shive. Have a good one.
And
Okay, what do the boys have to do to get you to hit like and subscribe?
They have to go ahead and subscribe to our channel here.
That's pretty much all I have.
Yes,
Sorry,
we do.
Logan Lynett.
Logan Leiden?
Lynett. L-I-N-O. I apologize for that.
Oh, Logan Leiden. Now I'm with you.
No, you're not, Your Honor.
Yeah.
If I may go grab her real quick, Your Honor, she's in the lobby.
Yes, if you would, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
Judge, this is Blake Cooper. Could I have a breakout room with Brian Rodriguez, please?
Yes. Can you arrange that for us, Missy?
Oh, I also want. This was sent to me by Rhonda Sue from
Rhonda?
Kansas. From Kansas, straight from the source. It's good stuff.
We'll go to court?
Kansas.
Yeah. Okay, when they call us, we'll go to court. That's crazy, ain't it? Told her I didn't have time for her bullshit last time. See how she
Whoa.
treats me today.
Okay. Who was that speaking?
Yeah.
Who was that?
Me?
Motive.
Ooh, Big Talker changed his tone. I really don't appreciate him talking to sweet Judge Webster like that. I gotta be honest.
OG Pure. What's your name?
I think it's...
You think your name is? What is your name? Moto G Pure, you need to unmute.
Nope.
Are you talking to me, Your Honor?
If you were the one talking about the court a while ago, yeah.
Yep, Big Dummy, we're talking
See how
about
you
you.
can be treated today. Let's find out. What's your name?
If you're talking to me, my name's Mr. Stokes, Christopher Stokes.
You were being stupid. Now you're going to pay for it.
Mr. Stokes, I think if you're going to editorialize about how you are treated, you might want to unmute before you start doing that, giving your opinions and so forth.
I was actually talking to my uncle, trying to see if I could have him. He's trying to figure out how to go to court today is what we were talking about, Your Honor.
No, you weren't.
All right, well, sounds like you're here.
He tries to sell it that he's talking about another judge. It's so bad. It's not even close. No one's buying. Oh.
Okay,
Seeing and hearing you fine. Let's put your name on there, Christopher Stokes, so I'll remember to call you here shortly.
Yeah,
He's a payer up here.
Okay, well, let's just call him now rather than later. We're on the record in 2022 TR 2988, State of Kansas versus Christopher Ryan Stokes. This is the 13th Judicial District of Butler County, Kansas. On the record, please announce appearances.
Amber Norris for the state.
Christopher Stokes, I'm here.
All right, Mr. Stokes.
Mr. Loser.
You are here, looks like, because you were found guilty and sentenced. And that sentence included payment of fines.
Oh, he
At
gets
your
worse.
last hearing, you told me you could have this paid by today. How much have you paid?
I ain't made it in there yet
Somewhere between negative
today, Your
zero.
Honor, to be in there to make a payment. I'm waiting on a car ride to come get me from my house to come to your guys' location.
What town do you live in?
I live in Butler County, outside of Butler County in the country, out by Brainerd.
Out by Brainerd.
Yeah, out by Brainerd, Whitewater, Potwin, Brainerd area.
Okay.
Your Honor, would you like to have him arrested?
Do you have the money to pay your case today, Mr. Stokes?
I don't have the full amount, but I got something I can make a payment on it. I got kids to raise too.
Well, you were here November 14th, and you pled not no contest and were found guilty.
Of being stupid in the
The
first
charge
degree.
being driving after declared an habitual violator for multiple violations. And your fines,
$258.
$1,000.
you also were found guilty of count 2, and that was
Being really
operating a
stupid.
vehicle with an expired tag. Count 3, no insurance, was dismissed. And you do owe $258, and in these 60 days you have not made a $5 payment or anything?
Oh, ma'am, I told you I got 2 children to raise, and I ain't made it in there yet. I will get you guys in some cash in there. It was an accident. My brother passed away. I've been dealing with that. I will get you guys in some money today when my ride gets here. That's the best I can do. I'm not walking 30 miles to a courthouse. It's not happening.
Okay, Mr. Stokes, with all due respect,
No.
when one violates the law in Kansas and has to come in court, that person does not tell the court how it's going to be. That person does not set the rules and make the orders. And you
I get that, Your Honor, but I ain't made it in there. I'm going to get you guys a payment, like I said. I said I would have it
I
today.
asked you, Mr. Stokes, I asked you November 14th how long you needed. I worked with you however you needed, and you told me you could have it paid in full by today. You didn't tell me you were going to wait today to make a partial payment. How much is this partial payment you're going to make?
I probably paid half of it. It'll probably be half paid today. I just had some things, like I said, Your Honor, that come up that I had to pay for. My daughter got sick. I had to take care of some of that stuff. So that medicine, that money was a little important of her life. Is a little more important to me than a payment to get to the courts that I will get to them. I've paid you guys off every time I've owed you guys money. I've
Okay.
had a zero balance.
Mr. Stokes, remember that if you do not comply with your probation, it can be revoked and you can
It will
serve
be
6
revoked.
months in the county jail. Remember, I only gave you 2 conditions of probation. 1, violate no laws, and 2, pay off your fines and costs in a time frame in which you told me you thought could be done in 60 days. So just when you're taking on your attitude this morning and telling me how it is, make sure you understand you have 6 months probation, or 6 months jail sentence that can be imposed if you violate your probation. Now, how are you? If I approve what you're asking, how would you make that payment?
It'll be cash.
So you'll find a ride to the courthouse?
I'm waiting on a ride to come get me now. That's what I've been. I'm not allowed to drive.
Right.
And so It ain't like I can drive my son down there, so I have to rely on somebody else's time, their inconvenience to come and take me down to you guys.
All right, well, I'm going to recess your court case until about 11 o'clock and see if you've gotten that paid. So be back here on screen at 11, and we'll see if you got to the courthouse and got that paid or not. And then we'll
Miss
decide.
Webster?
Yes, sir?
Do you guys I know this don't pertain to me, but it does because he's at my house. Do you guys have a Jerry Whiteside on your docket? Because he's here at my house. Jerry Joe Whiteside.
Well,
This is his attempt to redirect it and act like he's talking about a different judge that nobody's buying. It's so dumb that you might miss it if I don't point it out.
I don't have him on my particular docket. That's not to say another court doesn't have him. What kind of charge is he looking at?
It's a driving charge. He just don't want to miss court. He has court today. That's what we were talking about this morning. I thought I had this thing muted.
All right.
He just don't want to miss court and have a warrant. He's right here next to me.
Why don't you have him call the clerk of the district court and find out when his court date is? And I believe he can do that one.
Well, his ticket said it was today at 9 o'clock is what his ticket said.
Okay, have him please call the clerk of the district court at 316.
He's probably getting a warrant issued right now.
4370.
Yes, this guy
He thinks he's being cute.
370?
Yes, sir. They can get you squared away on when you're supposed to be here.
Thank you, ma'am.
yesterday.
You're welcome. Now, for the record, where's my clerk? Rochelle, you do not have him on the docket and Mr. Whiteside, do you?
I do not, Your Honor. And typically, the date at the bottom of the ticket is not an actual court date.
It's probably a pay or appeal. That's what I was thinking, but I'll have him call just to find out what he needs to do. All right, that being said, I'm going to recall this case at 11, and we'll be in recess on Stokes.
Mr. Johnson here now. His audio is connected. Mr. Johnson, can you hear me?
Yes.
Probably not.
All right.
Okay, this is the second clip I've stolen from people in court in like the last week, but it's fantastic. It's a good get. I've been doing Judge Olsaver clips since way back.
Oh, Savers? Yeah, okay, go for it.
Oh, he's fun here today. He is. the expressions on his face are fantastic.
We are on the record that in the People of the State of Michigan versus Gregory Ernest Johnson, it's file number 21-20333-FH. Today's date set for a final pretrial conference. This matter we are proceeding today by video conference. First, let me ask the attorneys to place their appearances on the record, beginning with Ms. Brenner.
Good morning, Your Honor. Sarah Brenner, Assistant Attorney General for the People.
Rhonda Underwood for Mr. Johnson this morning, Your Honor.
Okay.
All right, and Ms. Underwood, where do we stand with the case today?
At this time, Your Honor, I believe Mr. Johnson will be pleading guilty on a delayed plea basis, Your Honor, to the 4-year child support case, Your Honor, with the provisions that the sentencing be put out 11 months if Mr. Johnson gets his arrearage down to $8,000. It's my understanding he gets an attempt, and if Mr. Johnson manages to pay the whole arrearage down in that time, Your Honor, then he would be eligible for a misdemeanor disorderly in this case, Your Honor.
Good Lord.
I believe that is, and I believe Mr. Johnson is to pay $100 a month, Your Honor. I believe that is the plea bargain that Mr. Johnson will be pleading to today.
Okay. Ms. Brenner, is that a complete and accurate statement of the agreement?
That's correct, Your Honor. He's to pay a minimum of $100 a month. He did not pay last month, so I do expect him to make up that missed payment as well.
I did pay.
The front of the court system is not showing the payment at this time.
Underwood has the
Mr. Johnson,
Underwood has the receipt.
It's okay, Gregory.
We're not going to argue about this on the record right now. If the payment was made,
I will send Ms. Brenner the proof I have.
Okay, that's fine. I just don't see it in the front of the court system yet.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. But that is the plea you're taking this morning, correct?
Yes.
We can't see you anymore, Mr. Johnson. There you go.
Look at that.
All right, Mr. Johnson, would you raise your right hand?
Who thinks that's normal?
Where in the hell is it, Mike?
Can't see you now, so if you have your right hand raised, please let me know when you have it raised.
Yes, it's raised.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
I suppose.
I need a yes or a no.
Yes.
I suppose.
That's straight out of the handbook. It's perfect. I might have to clip this one too. I suppose is right in line.
You are Gregory Ernest Johnson, correct?
Yes.
I suppose.
Mr. Johnson, you've heard the statement of your attorney and the prosecuting attorney. Is it your intention to plead guilty today to count 1, failing to pay child support?
I suppose.
Yes, I accept the plea.
Is it your intention to plead guilty today?
I suppose.
Yes, I accept the plea.
Are you satisfied with Ms. Underwood and the advice that she's given you?
I suppose.
Do you understand the maximum penalty for this offense is up to 4 years in prison and or a $2,000 fine?
4 years.
Yeah.
Give them all 4 years, Your Honor.
Neither the prosecutor, defendant, or anyone acting on the defendant's behalf has discussed a possible sentence with the court, other than as we discussed it on the record here this morning. Is that correct, Ms. Brenner?
That's correct, Your Honor.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Is that also your understanding, Mr. Johnson?
I don't know. I didn't understand the question.
Other than as we've discussed on the record here today, no one has discussed a possible sentence with me. Do you agree with that?
With me, right, okay.
No, with me. No one has discussed a sentence with me, other than as we've discussed on the record here today. Not Ms. Brenner, not Ms. Underwood, and not yourself. Is that right?
Right.
If a guilty plea is accepted, there'll be no trial. That means you're giving up the rights that you would have had at trial. I'm going to explain those rights to you now to make sure that you understand them. You do have the right to a speedy.
Okay.
Mr. Johnson, if you're going to interrupt me, I'm going to hold you in contempt.
I'm sorry.
Your Honor.
This is not a funny matter. You have the right to a speedy public trial by jury. You can ask for a non-jury trial, and if the prosecutor and the court agreed, you could have a non-jury trial. You have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to have the prosecuting attorney prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you're guilty, and you do not have to prove anything. You have the right to be present at trial, have the witnesses against you appear at your trial, and to ask those witnesses questions. You have the right to have the court order any witnesses that you have to your defense to appear at your trial. You have the right to remain silent during your trial and not have that silence used against you. However, you also have the right to testify at your trial if you wanted to testify. You understand, Mr. Johnson, that if your plea is accepted, you may be giving up the right to appeal issues that would otherwise be appealable if you were convicted at a trial.
Yeah.
You also understand that any appeal from the conviction and sentence pursuant to this plea would be by application for leave to appeal and not by right.
I suppose.
I didn't understand that.
Your Honor.
Do you understand that any appeal that you might make from this conviction and sentence would have to be by application for leave to appeal and not by right?
He doesn't know what that means, Your Honor.
Okay.
Right.
If you are not a citizen of the United States of America, conviction of a crime can result in deportation, exclusion from admission to the United States of America, or denial of naturalization. Do you have any questions about any of those rights?
He's muted now.
I didn't mean to mute. I don't know how I muted.
I mean to mute.
Weird.
Do you have any questions about any of those rights, Mr.
We can still hear you.
Crap.
You're unmuted now, Mr. Johnson.
Again, I shouldn't be. I'm not on my headset, though.
We can't hear you.
Well, I'm trying.
We can hear you. We hear you.
Oh, okay. Well,
We C-A-N. Can.
Mr. Johnson, do you have any questions about any of the rights that I've explained to you?
no.
Other than the fact that
Do you understand that you're giving those rights up?
Yeah.
How do you wish to plead to the charge that on or about September 1st, 2018 through September 30, 2019, in the city of Adrian County of Lenawee, that you did commit the offense of failing to pay child support?
I accept the plea.
That was not
If you want to plead guilty, you need to say guilty.
You want me to say guilty? Okay, fine.
If you want to plead guilty to this offense, then you need to say that you plead guilty.
I accept the plea.
That's not what we have.
That's not,
Mr.
it's not a
Johnson.
good plea. So if that's all you're going to say, Mr. Johnson, then I'm going to continue your not guilty plea and we'll proceed to trial on January 25th.
I never entered a not guilty plea.
Yes,
Mr.
you did.
Johnson, there are two pleas available, guilty or not guilty. Which do you choose today? Guilty or not guilty?
They want the not guilty or the guilty, so that's fine.
No, Mr. Johnson, it's a matter of what you want to do today. Do you want to plead guilty
It
or
doesn't
not
matter
guilty?
what I want to do. Shut.
Somebody said shut up.
Mr. Johnson, are you going to plead guilty today or not?
Yes, that's acceptable.
If you want to plead guilty, you need to say that you're pleading guilty. Your audio was not clear. What did you just say?
Yes.
Yes to what?
All right. This is the last time I'm going to explain this to you, and otherwise we're just going to leave the trial set. How do you wish to plead to the charge that you failed to pay child support?
Well, you determined that I was guilty, so yes, I am guilty.
Sir, the elements of the crime are you were ordered to pay child support and you failed to pay for whatever
My
reason.
income did not support that.
That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
Well, he found me guilty, so that's what
He
it
didn't
is.
find you guilty. He's asking,
Sure.
were you ordered to pay child support and did you fail to pay it? It's either yes or no. If it's a yes, then you plead
My
guilty.
income did not support the child support.
Judge, let's just leave it on for trial.
No, I want the deal.
Then you need to admit what you did.
Mr. Johnson?
Mr. Johnson.
Ms. Underwood, please allow me, Ms. Underwood.
Mr. Johnson, you are confusing the issue. The judge found that the child support was appropriately set. Okay? He found you could not go back.
Fine.
That is a separate issue than the criminal issue we have today. Now, did you pay that child support or not? If you did not, then you need to say
I was unable.
guilty.
No, I did not. Okay.
So is that a guilty?
We're not going further with this. The record is already
Beyond cluttered.
not satisfactory.
I'm guilty of the circumstances that set this thing.
Mr. Johnson, please do not interrupt me. If you interrupt me again, I'm going to hold you in contempt and I'm going to give you 30 days in the Lenawee County Jail.
Please do, Your Honor.
All right. I do not believe that the record created in this case today to this point would appropriately allow me to accept a guilty plea. Mr. Johnson has not indicated.
Guilty.
Oh, now he says it.
Mr. Johnson has not indicated a clear intent to plead guilty and admit to the facts that would support a guilty plea in this case. Trial is scheduled for January 25th at 9 a.m. If I don't already have proposed voir dire questions and jury instructions, I'd like those submitted by Friday.
Yes, Your Honor.
And we will proceed to trial on January 25th. There's a plea agreement deadline on January 23rd. So assuming that Ms. Brenner is willing to leave that agreement open, I will accept the plea up until that point. If Mr. Johnson decides that he wants to unequivocally admit his guilt.
Guilty. I plead guilty.
I've made my decision for today. If Ms. Underwood,
Do you want to set a time for January 23rd, Judge?
They'll play.
That we can check back in or not?
I plead guilty today.
Mr. Johnson, I've already explained to you that you have behaved today in a way that I am not going to accept a guilty plea from you based on what you've said on the record here today. If you decide that you want to make a guilty plea, I would ask you to contact Ms. Underwood, have her arrange a time either tomorrow, Friday, or Monday to enter that plea. And if you show up and you answer the questions, Mr. Johnson, I've said it. This is the last time I'm saying it for you. If you interrupt me one more time, I'm going to hold you in contempt and sentence you to 30 days in the Lenawee County Jail. I am done. I've instructed you now as to how you can proceed if you want to enter a guilty plea. Contact Ms. Underwood. She'll make arrangements with my office. This hearing is concluded. Please log out.
I don't think he's that smart, Your Honor.
Well, there you have it. There you have it. It really was a perfect day for Justin Richard Clevenger. Oh man, I got to get it together. Sorry I was later than usual. Oh my.
Oh, you're allowed, Mikey. Definitely appreciate you for stopping by and giving us some content. With that, we will bring the afternoon session to a close. As always, please make sure you do like, share, and subscribe. Help us get to that goal of 50,000 views, 1,000 subscribers. So Boxy, who's had her little celebration recently, will get us some nice red presents to get out to all of you. And Google will put us on the algorithms. Coinbase, Ibotta, Gain.gg, as you know, just below. Those of you who have availed yourself with us, we definitely appreciate it. For those who haven't, go ahead and do so at any time and enjoy. Some free money to use, whether you want to use them here, of course, for Valkyrie's favor, gem packages, or anything else you like. Till tonight, when the soft sets scrape out from the woodwork. Thanks for watching from day one. Have a great evening, a great afternoon. We'll see you all tonight.